Oh, hello. Welcome back to Bath Time with Brielle. I hope everyone out there survived the heat wave. It was so fucking hot. It's because all you little hoes out there were manifesting hot girl summers, and look what you did. Look what you did. So this week, I'm answering your questions on how to ask certain questions. It sounds silly, but honestly, communication is so hard. If it were easy, we would never have any relationship problems. I'm here to help. So this week's bath bomb is called Groovy Kind of Love. Ooh, look at that. It's so pretty. It has rosewood, bergamot, and ylang-ylang. First question of the episode. How do I tell the person I'm hooking up with that what they're doing doesn't necessarily feel good without hurting their feelings? Prioritizing your pleasure is so important, and that doesn't mean you have to be selfish. It just means that you don't want to waste your time on something that doesn't feel good. I remember when I first became sexually active, and the first time I got fingered was like such a painful experience, and I was like pretending to enjoy myself, but it fucking hurt. There's a difference between stuffing a turkey and summoning a genie. A tip I have for you is really focusing on positive reinforcements with your partner. Besides verbally communicating with your partner about what you like, you have to listen to the cues of the body. Like if you're doing something magical with your tongue and that person moans and maybe moves a little bit closer to you, becomes a little bit more vocal, then they probably like it. So if your moans aren't leading your partner in the right direction, you could always just grab their hand and slip it somewhere else or pull them up to kiss you. Take control, take that power back and switch it up to something you do like. And then to reinforce the good behavior, you could always say like, oh my god, it turned me on so much when you did this. Or, oh, it felt so good when you did this. Everyone's bodies are different, so what they could have learned was great for their previous partner isn't great for you, and there's some trial and error that you have to go through to sort it out. Next question. When is the appropriate time to tell the person I'm sleeping with about my assault? First of all, I'm really sorry to hear that happened to you. I too am a survivor, and it's definitely been kind of rough to figure out when to tell partners. One thing to remember is that you're in control of how much you share. You can tell that person as many or as few details as you want. One thing I like to think about it, do I trust this person enough to be vulnerable around them? Because talking about an assault can be triggering in itself, so if I tell someone and that person really isn't there for me in that moment, then it could be really uncomfortable. You know, not everyone knows how to deal with it when you tell them, so making sure the person you tell is emotionally equipped to kind of comfort you and ask appropriate questions is important and might not always happen. My one recommendation would be to tell that person before you have the opportunity to be triggered by something they do. Because my assault has affected my sex life, I think it's important that I tell my partner pretty soon after we start sleeping together. If your partner has a negative reaction to you telling them, then fuck them. You're so worthy of having a good sex life, and communicating about your pain with your partner is a good way for them to understand you and your body. Next question. How do I tell my partner I want to open up the relationship?
Welcome to the dark side.
I'm kidding. Open relationships are the bright side. First, you want to make sure that you're not doing this like as a cover-up or a band-aid to fix your problems in your existing relationship. Then you want to reassure your partner that they come first, their emotional needs, their physical needs, just assuring them that it doesn't have anything to do with them. Before you have this conversation with them, make sure you're very detailed on what you actually want. Figure out what you want your open relationship to consist of. Do they get to have physical relationships only? Does it not get to be emotional? Does it not include certain types of sex? There's so many fucking ways to be in an open relationship. If this is a new concept for your partner, make sure you start slow. You can start with, being present while your partner flirts at the bar with another person. It doesn't have to be like, oh, we're open, now I have to go fuck 10 people right now. One day, one night, 10 penises inside of me all at once. You definitely want to be prepared for a no or a maybe. And you'll have to decide what a no means for you. Like, do you actually think a monogamous relationship is for you? My favorite book of all time, it's like my fucking Bible. I know I tell all my friends to read it, and I've definitely mentioned it in another episode, but it's called Ethical Slut. And it's really gender fluid and talks all about polyamory and it's just beautiful, and I love it, and you should read it. You should read it even if you are not interested in open relationships, because it will really like fix any ideas you have about jealousy and communication issues. It's just such a great book. And our final question: how do I get my boyfriend to be more affectionate in public? I just say the next time you're at Whole Foods, just, hold his hands, look into his eyes as you just gently unzip his pants. Get on your knees and then suck his dick in the Whole Foods. So you could either do that, or you can ask your boyfriend what his love languages are. So there's 5 love languages, and basically it's about how we all communicate our love differently. There's words of affirmation, quality time, acts of service, receiving gifts, and physical touch. I'm all about words of affirmation. Tell me I mean something to you, daddy. Your boyfriend might not know that physical touch is really important in how you receive affection. Maybe for him it's showing up on time. Once you two are on the same page about how you receive affection, you'll be unstoppable. But yeah, suck his dick in Whole Foods and tell me how it goes. That's it for this episode of Bath Time with Brielle. Go out there, be kind to one another, and remember, communication is key. Don't be afraid to talk about shit. And I say that as someone who's really afraid to talk about shit. So let's all try it together. Goodbye.